Hello, good morning or afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to the podcast. This is Joe Cameron from Red Main Group. It's our halfway hut, and here's Julian. Say good morning, Julian.
Good morning.
What a beautiful sunny day it is as well in the UK.
Beautiful,
Thank goodness the sun's out. It's a bit windy, but nonetheless, you've got a busy day. So let's crack on today. We're talking about intuition and instinct, aren't we?
Yep.
So who would you say is one of the most intuitive golfers of all time?
Without question, Seve.
Yeah.
Seve Ballesteros. He was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah. He could play shots and use his intuition from anywhere.
How do you know that he was using his intuition? What makes you say that? Because you instantly knew the answer to my question, didn't you? But
yeah, I didn't really know. I just kind of know. And is that intuition?
Well, it is, yeah. But if you were looking at an intuitive person versus a non-intuitive person, what would be the difference?
Faldo.
Right.
Nick Faldo, bit mechanical, bit methodical.
Right.
Would that be right? I would think.
Yeah, I would absolutely say so. Yeah.
And didn't really. He probably did use it, but it didn't look as obvious.
Yeah. So an intuitive person would probably look a bit more flowy.
Yeah.
A bit more relaxed. A bit more in the zone.
In the zone, more artistic almost.
Yeah.
Really.
Flair.
Yeah, flair is a great word. Yeah, I like that.
So there was a real difference between Seve
and Faldo. Yeah. He was. I'm not going to say he was a numbers man, did it by numbers, but he was more that way.
Yeah.
And Seve was kind of fly by the seat of his pants type person, and always seemed to play better the more trouble he was in. Okay,
so Faldo was known to be a bit more of an analytical player,
I would say
he?
so. Yeah, he kind of took it to another level. And started to do really, really well. Yeah. But he was very methodical about what he was doing, and Seve seemed to be a little bit more flamboyant, really.
So you think from your perspective, having played lots of golf in your time as well, how do you know when you're playing an intuitive shot as a non-intuitive?
The times when you really do it are when you're probably in an awkward situation. So say you could be under trees and you've got to hit a low shot that's got to bend a little bit. You kind of just do it. And you don't quite know how you've done it. You've just done it. And I would say, through the research you've done, that's intuitive.
Yeah, it is. Do you know what I found really interesting about intuition? Is that often people say that that's related to our gut, the gut feeling.
Yeah.
That you can tell. Well, this is what I've discovered about intuition, which I think is really fascinating. Because apparently when you're relying on your intuition, you get this sense of knowing, but there's no emotion attached to it. So it's sort of an emotionally neutral place to be. So it's not either positive or negative, so it's not excited or it's not fearful. It's a neutral emotional basis from which it comes from, your intuition.
Yeah, I like that. I often when I'm coaching, before a person has even played the shot, I can almost tell you what the shot's going to do before they've even done it. And I don't quite know how I do it. And I would also almost say it's like my gut instinct, but you just know.
Yeah. I think for you, well, the other thing about intuition is it comes from your past experiences, your present environment, and your personal needs.
That would make a lot of sense.
So if, like, for example, you've been coaching golfers for donkey's years, you've got a really high-trained intuition about what would be a good shot versus what would be something that's not.
And what kind of makes it?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Because you know. Well, you do know because you've been doing it for donkey's years. I mean, if you look at, like, a tennis player, for example, you sort of sometimes get a knowing about whether they're going to hit a good or a bad shot, don't they? You go,
definitely.
I know he's going to win, or I know he's going to lose, or she's going to play particularly well. You can sort of just tell, can't you? Because they're in the flow. It's a bit like the head and the heart thing.
Okay. Because they say sometimes your heart's faster than your brain, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I'll come on to that in a minute.
Cool.
So what do you think about, like, golfers that overthink things then?
Well, you asked me earlier.
You're not intuitive when you're thinking about it.
When you're overthinking, yeah. You asked me earlier how many golfers overthink. I was going to say probably all of them on every shot. There's not that many people that probably aren't thinking too much, and the ones who are probably playing the best golf.
Right. Is there an interesting statistic or something? Was it?
No, I couldn't really tell you, but they, I'm going to put a figure on it. I'm going to say 90% of golfers overthink. Right. And the way that we coach, we try to take that away.
Yeah. Well, that is the basis of the easiest swing in golf, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like take the tension off, find your own swing, stop measuring yourself against somebody else. Because as soon as you start measuring yourself against somebody else, you're going to come out of your intuitive mode. But yeah, so this thing about the gut reaction as well is that they reckon your gut is your second brain. Because there's this super highway between your gut and your brain, and it's called the gut-brain axis. So if you think about it, if your tummy's rumbling, it's telling you to eat.
Right. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So what you've got to do is learn to understand the feelings that you get in your gut and how to interpret it.
Yes. Trust it?
Yeah, most of the time. The other challenge about your gut is that there's a whole bunch of research now that says your gut really is driving you. So you've got to keep it healthy because it governs your immune system, so it keeps you well, it keeps you healthy. The difficulty is now, especially in corporate land, is that a lot of people have really damaged their gut through stress. Yeah. By eating the wrong things, by rushing around, eating on the move. We've got a lot of digestive issues. So if your gut's not functioning very well, it's going to be difficult to trust it all the time.
Yeah, apparently last night there was a good programme on the truth about stress. Right. I didn't get to see it, but apparently that was quite a good one. Yeah, I think it was on BBC One. Yeah. So maybe worth checking it out. Yeah.
The interesting thing is that there's a whole bunch of books now written on the gut, and one is actually just called Gut.
Right.
So I've read quite a lot of it, but quite a lot of it was talking about toilet arrangements.
Right. Okay. Yeah, you're not sure you want to be reading that.
I put it down a bit. So that's the cut to the chase. Is when you're in your intuitive zone, there's no emotion to it.
Right, and trust it.
Yeah. But you trust it if there's no emotion attached to it.
Right. Okay.
So if there's an emotion attached to it, that's not your gut working. That's not your intuition.
Right.
Because I used to think, like, say if you got really excited about something, then that was trusting your gut and that would tell you to go forward. Actually, as soon as you start to feel any emotion about it, you're not using your intuition. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would make a lot of sense.
So it's a bit like knowing. It's a bit like when I met you, really. From the instant I saw you, I knew that you were the right one without even thinking about it.
There you go.
Yeah, I think you felt the same. But perhaps if we'd done our research, we'd have gone, oh, blimey. Not really. But that's that knowing feeling that you get.
Yeah, knowing, yeah. So you would say intuition is knowing?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. But how do you get a good intuition? Well, the bottom line is that you've got to keep practicing.
Yeah.
You've got to keep practicing. So you've got to keep practicing. You've got to become more aware of what your gut's doing and the emotions that you're feeling. Now, not everybody is really very comfortable with that, are they? Because in the past, we've said that emotions are a bad thing and you shouldn't feel emotions and stuff. So you've got to get in tune with your emotions.
Yeah, and keep them in check.
Keep them in check.
Yeah.
Well, next week, we're at the Belfry again.
We are.
It's a tough call, isn't it, going there, really? But we're at the Belfry again, and we're covering emotional intelligence next week, part 2 of emotional intelligence, because we covered part 1 earlier. And part 1 of emotional intelligence was about controlling your emotions and being aware of them in front of people if you're a leader. So it's very exciting stuff, isn't it?
It is. It's really exciting. And I tell you, when they tend
it's really exciting. Oh, dear. Is that not intuitive? Oh, my life. Stop getting over and analysing about everything. But you said there's a few people in the public eye, like Will I Am.
Yeah, he really trusts his gut. Trust your gut is what he says, and he says it served him well over the years. So maybe that's what we do need to be doing. Yeah.
What are you going to do to look after your gut then?
Eat healthy. Lots of biscuits, lots of chocolate. No coffee. Just wine.
I know. Yeah, but you're all right because you're out in the fresh air all the time. So anyway, you're generally good overall. How's the walking going, by the way? How many steps are you up to now?
Just about 13,000 a day.
Right. So you're in the top 5% of the population?
I'm more mobile than 96.2% of the population. Not that I'm looking on that.
You're looking a bit smug about that, I must admit.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what have you been up to this week then?
Loads been happening again this week, Joe. 3 new online clients come on from France, Australia and America, which is good. So I've got a bit of work to do on those to have a look at their swings and tell them where we need to be going next. Been doing some work around the house, which has been good.
We just had this intuition that it might be quite nice to make some changes to the house. So you just got in there.
And just did it,
Stuck
really.
it,
did a bit of painting.
Commitment,
And it feels better. Yeah, it's kind of, you wake up and you just feel better.
It fascinates me about colours and environments and stuff like that, and if you want to change your environment, just You want to change the way you feel, you can change your environment, can't you? We talked about that recently. But so you've had a busy week, haven't you?
Yeah.
I had a busy week as well. I've been here, there, and everywhere, actually, organising our launches for our new venues. So we've got the launch coming up at 30th of June at the Arden Cote, which is in Warwickshire.
Yeah.
We're at Oxfordshire 2 weeks today, so we'll have to change the day of our podcast from a Friday.
Yeah.
And I'm busy organising all the promotional literature of that. And I've been talking for a living as well this week. I've been talking for a living, yeah. Which was amazing. I went to an awards event recognising the all the good that's been done in the local community, which was amazing. Inspiring, yeah. And I haven't done a talk for a while, so that was nice. To get back in the saddle, they say, to do some talking.
Get back on the rostrum. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, a lot of lovely people. And one came up to me and said, oh, that was really good. You should do that for a living. So if you want me to come and talk in your organisation, I'm more than happy to do that. But you can find us on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Facebook. I'm Jo Cameron on Twitter. We've got Julian Mellor on Twitter as well. But he's just reminded me about something that you wanted to say, about your tip of the week.
Tip of the week, learn to turn.
Learn to turn. Right,
yeah.
What does learn to turn mean?
Stat is 1 in 5,000 golfers turn enough in their backswing.
Ah, right.
Learn to turn. Have a look on the Easy Swing in Golf on my YouTube videos. There's loads of them on there explaining how to turn. Right. But learn to turn, there you go. Nice
that is your tip. What, you really think 1 in 5,000 golfers turns correctly?
Yeah.
No way.
No, turns enough.
Oh, turns enough, right, okay. We always have this conversation, don't we, about what turn means?
Yeah, you call it a twist, and I call it a turn. And you think a turn's wrong, but it's a golf saying, so therefore it's correct.
But you were laughing at me because, like in yoga, it would definitely be called a twist. But as you said, in yoga, a twist is a twist. Like a rabbit pose is a rabbit pose. It's not a fish pose, is it?
Absolutely.
It's a rabbit. So in golf, it's called a turn. It's not a twist. So learn to turn. How do people learn how to turn? What have they got to do?
Have a look on Easy Swing in Golf on YouTube, and there's loads of my videos on there which will show you how to turn.
What difference does it make?
Massive.
Like what?
You'll hit the ball further, straighter, less effort, and it won't hurt your body.
Do you know what holds people back from not turning?
Yeah.
What?
Their left foot, if they're right-handed.
But what emotion?
Fear, I would
yes,
say.
Absolutely right.
Yeah, fear of doing something too much.
Absolutely right, that's right.
What's on the other side of too much? Have a go.
Do you know a tip would be, from a yoga perspective, is that you need to try it without a golf club, don't you?
Yeah, definitely.
You need to practice your turning without a golf club, just to see, gently breathe, gently stretch, see how far you can go. Move your eyes, because when your eyes move, you're going to turn more, aren't you?
Got it. Absolutely.
But do it without the club, so you're not going to hurt yourself or injure yourself. But
and do it really smoothly and slowly to start.
Yes, exactly.
Because you'll want to turn too fast, and that's when you can start to hurt yourself. So gradually build it up.
So at home, do some stretching in the way that you're going to turn with your golf club. Do your stretching, find out where your limits are, gently breathe through it, and see where you can get to by moving your eyes. I sound like a yoga teacher now.
You do?
I do. But that is absolutely true. If you do it slowly, you're going to find more space.
Yeah, take your time.
And do you know what I found from yoga? Because sometimes our yoga teacher will come round and do like adjustments on you, which basically means help you turn or twist more.
Yeah.
And when they do, you can go so much further than you ever thought you could.
Yeah.
So your body,
your brain is the limiter.
Exactly. So when you're trying to touch your toes or something, and you think you can't, you've just got to relax, because you will definitely get more expansion than you ever thought you would.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's good tip, Jo.
And video themselves.
Video yourself or look in a mirror. Get some feedback.
Video yourself or look in a mirror, yeah. And send it to you on the online.
Yeah.
You can analyse their turning.
Look on julianmellorgolfschool.co.uk, and you can, if you've got any questions about golf, email them to me.
Yeah. Become the 1 in 5,000, or become the 2 in 5,000 that turns efficiently and effectively. We hope you've enjoyed our podcast today. We are Red Main Group, the Halfway Hurt. I'm Jo Cameron. This is Julian Mellor. If you Google us, you can find us anywhere on Twitter, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, or send us your questions at info@redmaingroup.com. So we hope you've enjoyed our podcast, and we'll catch you again soon. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye.